Chord playing doesn't always have to involve static blocks of harmony. Whether you're strumming or picking, you can introduce melodic lines into your chord playing to create something far more unique and intricate. In this lesson, I'm going to show you a really simple way to embellish those basic open position chords most of us learn as beginners. Let's start with a 2-finger variation of open G major. The fewer fingers required for the chord, the more fingers you have for building a melody around that position. So here we have our 1st and 4th fingers free. Start by placing your attention on the 1st string. We're simply going to try different melodic movements along that 1st string while strumming or picking the chord. There's a particular kind of muscle memory involved in moving your fingers around a fixed position like this, so it may feel a bit awkward at first, but like with anything, it'll get easier the more you practice it. Now, if you have relatively small hands or short fingers, this exercise will prove quite a stretch. If you physically can't do it, then there's other options, such as leaving out the bass, freeing you from that fixed position. However, you have to decide whether or not the bass is needed for the sound you're trying to achieve. Anyway, that's the basic concept. We're experimenting with different movements around the chord shape using our available fingers. Now let's try something similar using the 2nd string. And the 3rd string. And of course, we can apply the same method to the remaining strings. Not only is this a good exercise for your fingers, it also gets you thinking about combining your chord playing with melodic phrases. Once you're confident with adding melody across single strings, try phrasing your melody across multiple strings. For example, in fact, this is a great way of figuring out a suitable vocal melody for your chords. Practice this technique with other open chords you know. Get comfortable with using any 3 fingers around the chord shape. You can find some ideas for this on the lesson page, but here I'm just going to show you how we can apply this technique to the chord A minor. Once you're confident with adding melody to individual chords, it's time to work on using melody through chord changes. Here's an example of a movement from G to C major. Moving from A minor to D7 to G major. You can experiment for hours with this one technique, and the longer you spend playing through chords in this way, the more naturally it will become a part of your songwriting. So far, we've exclusively been looking at open chords, but in a later part, I'll show you how you can use melody to embellish movable chord forms up the neck. Until then, visit the lesson page for more help with this technique and some exercises to get you started. Cheers.